Hello. This is the second episode of my ongoing series where I sit down with you guys and review some of the pictures I took in Bangladesh. And in this episode, we'll be taking a look at the fourth roll of film that I shot in Bangladesh using my Contax T2, which is a point and shoot camera. So without further delay, let's take a look at the pictures I took. As you guys can see, this picture was taken on a rainy day. I took this picture right after a storm took place, and one thing that I really enjoy about this picture is this two men right here. The van puller and his passenger. They were looking at something. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're looking at, but these two people themselves make this picture as interesting as it is. I love this picture. I think everything is quite balanced. The colors are really popping. I love this. This is a picture I took before the storm with my cousin. While I was taking this picture, I thought I was focusing on my cousin, but the focus instead was on the staircase that's behind him, and I'm not too mad about it. I think the staircase and the door itself have some kind of characteristic. It gives you a horror movie vibe, which I'm really enjoying. I do wish, however, I took this picture again, but nonetheless, I think this picture is really enjoyable. Now, will I print this picture? Probably not. This is a picture I took at a graveyard. This is a special graveyard where they buried the national poet in Bangladesh. I do wish I took this picture at f4, but that was a very cloudy day after a rain, so I wasn't sure if I would have had enough light. This is one of my favorite pictures that I took in Bangladesh. You see, I took this picture at f2.8, but I was really trying to have everything in focus with enough light. So I had a lower shutter speed, and as soon as I clicked the shutter, this motorcycle passed by and it created an amazing motion blur, which I really love. I wish I reframed this picture a little bit higher without the slum in the picture. It's not a slum, it's actually a school, but it kind of looked like a slum. But nonetheless, I love this picture. Just like the rain couldn't stop my addiction of taking pictures, the rain couldn't stop them from coming out to smoke a cigarette, and I loved it. I loved that moment. I wish this picture wasn't as blurry as it is. You see, with the camera I was being a little too careful. I was trying not to get the camera wet. I wish I took a little bit of time, because I think this would have been an amazing picture. This had so much potential. The composition was right, the colors are amazing, but the picture came out blurry. This car that we see here, this blue van, is the van that people often use to carry dead bodies, and you can see there's a man sitting in there trying to save himself from getting wet. I really love this picture. I love this because everyone enjoyed the fact that I was taking a picture of it. They were excited about it, they were posing. Though I wish they weren't posing and they were keep doing what they were doing, but I'm not too mad that they're looking at the picture and posing. I wish I took this picture with a little bit of more lights, or I use the camera flash. In this type of scenarios, the camera flash comes out very handy. So one of my cousin, he works at a hospital, and throughout my time in Bangladesh, I would go to him to talk to him and visit him sometimes, and I found some fascinating scene in Bangladesh hospital, and I took a few pictures. It gets really intimidating to stick a camera in someone's face, especially after he or she got out of a hospital. But nonetheless, the pictures that comes out are really nice. I wish I took some more time to focus on them and got to speak to them and got to know them a little bit better. This man was completely unbothered. He was laying down, chilling in one of those hospital trolley bed, and I took a picture of him from the front, and I realized that the light might be too harsh behind him, so I went behind him and took another picture of him, but he wasn't in focus, which was kind of a bummer. But it's a nice picture. I like the composition of it. I took a picture of this traffic police right after I got out of the hospital. I think this is one of the best pictures I took in Bangladesh as well. I do wish that I took another picture of him facing me, but police in Bangladesh are kind of brutal. They like to beat you up for no reason. There's a huge chance if he saw me taking his picture, he would probably try to hit me or try to chase me away. I didn't spend too much time around him. I just took the picture and I left. I love this picture. I don't think I have any complaint about this picture except the fact that the color of the truck and the color of the wall is the same, which makes it blend in with the foreground and the midground. But there's oftentimes a lot of things we cannot control, and we can just hope the pictures come out best, and this was one of the scenario. Dhaka is the city of crows. My whole series would have been incomplete if I didn't take some pictures of a crow. And this crow was an interesting one. He was looking at me, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I stopped to change cameras and take another picture of him with my medium format, which I'll show you guys later in this series. And this crow was really trying to have a conversation with me, like, hey, what is going on? What are you doing here? I really love that. I really love that. This man is a gangster. This man is a fucking gangster. I saw him cutting up some meats and I asked him if I could take some pictures of him. He was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I was a little afraid that this picture will come out too dark, but this picture came out perfect. This is an interesting picture I took. I think this is one of my favorite pictures from the Bangladesh series. The colors are amazing. These kids really didn't enjoy the fact that I took pictures of them while they were taking shower naked, but I think this is one of the pictures that I really love. You see the bottle this kid is using to take shower? As soon as he figured out I'm taking pictures of it, he threw it at me. He missed, but you see there's a girl right behind him. She was behind me by that time, and that bottle landed on her head and she was hurt pretty bad. But nonetheless, I got a good picture. And you might be sitting here thinking that, was it the right thing to do to take pictures of this kid, especially if they weren't really happy about it? And that takes me back 5 years ago when my mentor shared a story with me. You see, he told me a story about this photographer. He was taking pictures in Africa throughout a famine time, and the subject had a little girl sitting down and she was waiting to die, and there was a vulture sitting in the back, and that vulture was also waiting for her to die so the vulture could come and devour that body. And after that photographer took that picture, eventually he fell into a deep depression and he ended up killing himself. And that kind of puts you at a point saying, was he right to take that picture? Now at those type of moments, you have to make a decision. And I personally feel like There's a lot of bad that's going on in this world. There's a lot of injustice that's going on in this world. And oftentimes, we can't do much about those injustices and those bad things that are going on in this world. But one thing that we can do as a photographer or a storyteller is share their story with rest of the people in this planet, and maybe the right people at the right place will see their story and try to do something about it and make their life better. So in a personal level, I might did injustice to them by taking their picture, but if we take a step back and take a look at the greater picture, in the bigger scheme of things in this world, I think I did the right thing by taking that picture. I hope that made sense. And that concludes the fourth roll of film that I shot in Bangladesh. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on next episode. Until then, goodbye.